30 years ago, I was first introduced to yoga, haṭha yoga to be precise. And from that moment forward, I started to explore different areas of the more physical yoga. I used to do a little bit of Ashtanga yoga, a little bit of Iyengar yoga, some Vinyasa yoga, Yin yoga. There's so many different types of yoga. And that, do you know what? I really, really enjoyed it. It helped keep my body going, which was good, kept the flexibility, because actually when I started yoga, I was the most inflexible person ever, and I was the most heavy-handed. So if you hear a bang in the class, it's me banging, not being aware of my body weight when transferring from one foot to another foot or something like that. But the one thing that is very distinct about yoga and the type of yoga that I was doing, and I say it's quite a wide range of different yogas I was doing. The one thing that really stood out is, although I had a good class, although I could do a good session at home, every time I finished the class and every time I finished the session, I just went back into my normal life. Got on with the normal day, as one would normally do. And it's very difficult, I found, to actually take what I did and bring it into my day-to-day life. It wasn't strong enough to do that. And that's really important to understand, because I found in recent times now that I do a different type of yoga now called Bhakti Yoga. And the one thing that's very distinct about Bhakti Yoga in comparison to other types of yogas, in particular the whole range of physical and haṭha yoga, is it has a continuum. Now, although when I went to my yoga classes, I went from one class to the next class, I went in, week out, sometimes did it more frequently if I was doing it at home. But I just didn't feel that it helped me, and I know a lot of people who do yoga, that it doesn't actually help you to bring it into your day-to-day life and your day-to-day being. And that's very limiting in one regard. Although it helped with my flexibility, it helps with my coordination and balance in certain regards. And I can say to you, well, look, see if you find your balance on a physical level, maybe it helps you to find your balance on an intellectual or psychological or emotional level. It's very true. But ultimately, after I'd done my class, I went back to normal life and I behaved as normal. But what I've experienced here in Krishna consciousness, 3 years ago I started to delve into Bhakti Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga is called Devotional Yoga. And Devotional Yoga is about serving. But unlike normal life, it's not about serving me anymore. It's about serving the Lord. And it's through this serving the Lord that we start to realize something very different. You see, when I did the physical yoga, the haṭha yogas, it was all about looking after my body, my life, my needs, me. But what I've discovered through Bhakti Yoga is it's not about me anymore. In fact, this body is not even mine. I have a soul, an atma, but at the end of this life I will leave this body. It will rot, it will deteriorate, it will be burnt, it will be buried. And then I'll take on another body if that's what the Lord arranges. But as I was saying before, in Krishna consciousness, I feel that from one moment of devotional service to the next moment of devotional service into the next devotional service, tongue twister there, things start to change. Things start to change in respect to not just about what I do on a physical level, but what I do on an emotional level, what I do on an intellectual level, energetic level. And I noticed very distinct changes in my characteristics. I've always been a caring person in life, but I discovered actually through Bhakti Yoga that maybe I haven't been as caring as I thought I was. We always judge ourselves in a certain way. We're quite lenient actually, because sometimes we don't realise, or we don't remember, or we don't want to recall necessarily the harsher things that we've done in life, whether it's what we've heard, what we've seen, or what we've said or done. You see, I'm reading the Bhagavad-Gita, and I'm reading today chapter 6, verse 47. It's the last chapter of, the last verse of this chapter. And it's quite a pinnacle moment, because it's identifying that Bhakti Yoga is very distinct from all other yogas. It is the ultimately where all yoga should lead to the devotional yoga. You see, as I was saying to you before, I was so used to just looking after my body, my needs, my flexibility, my balances. And by serving myself, it's not conducive to actually making us a better person. But in Bhakti Yoga, everything's about serving the Lord. And it's a beautiful realization, because the more we serve the Lord, the less we get caught up in our minds about me, I, and mine. My yoga space, my yoga mat, my yoga time, my body, my flexibility, my needs, my desires. It's not healthy. It's not healthy whatsoever. But the moment I was able to realize life is beyond me, I'm not the supreme controller, I'm not the arranger of everything. I'm just a humbling little servant, where the Lord gives me a little bit of intelligence, to realize actually there's more to life than just me, and me. And when you get to this pinnacle point of understanding that Bhakti Yoga is so distinct, it can't be compared to any other yogas at all, because it takes us into this other realm where we appreciate and value where we've come from, what we've been given, what has been provided, what has been arranged. And it's beautiful. You see, we are so forgetful, and not only are we forgetful, we underappreciate. We always underappreciate the fact that where we come from. In fact, the average person doesn't even think where they come from. It's quite shocking, actually. We just take everything for granted. We buy things. We don't realise where they come from. I was talking to a Prabhu yesterday about cotton. He was wearing a cotton shirt, and I said, do you know where your cotton comes from? No, the average person doesn't, because I only discovered when I came to India where cotton comes from. Because I come across a cotton plant with buds of cotton on it. I never knew it grew in such a way, and it can be manipulated in such a way that it produces, well, this kurta that I'm wearing here at the moment. And where did that? And what was the source of it? Where did that plant come from? Well, it didn't come anywhere by chance. It's a specific item that was grown to be utilized for a specific thing by the arrangement of the Lord. It's beautiful. So Bhakti Yoga is teaching me about the source of life. Not only the source of life is the more I serve the Lord, the more He reveals. I started reading 3 years ago, and I didn't understand a thing when I read the Bhagavad-Gita as it is by Srila Prabhupada. Didn't understand a word of it. Now I have a bit more insight, a bit more understanding, able to reflect more, get some light bulb moments. Do I understand it all? No way! Do you? But what I do know is, the more service I do, the more the Lord shares, the more He gives, and prepares us for the next lessons and the next stage in our life. And that's very, very, very beautiful. And this is why Bhakti Yoga cannot be compared to any other yoga. It's an evolving aspect of our life. It's not just something you study, it is our life, Bhakti Yoga. We have to find a way to appreciate what is provided for us, what's given to us, what's been arranged for us. And we need to start to show more appreciation, and maybe we'll have better values in life when we start to appreciate it. And it's so, so beautiful and so simple. As Srila Prabhupada, our founder Acharya, says, you can quite easily miss it. Quite easily miss it. So, do you do any yoga? Or meditation? Same thing with meditation. No different. I do a little used to do a little meditation, like for 20 minutes, half an hour, maybe an hour, in front of a candle, or in a room with certain incense burning, or certain music playing, or certain focusing on a picture. But every time I left the yoga room, or the moment of doing some meditation, again, I just went back into my normal life. But now, normal life is devotional service. Devotional service is life. And therefore, everything that I do is to be mindful of the Lord, appreciative of the Lord, to be mindful of every other person that comes into my vicinity, and take good association, to care, look after, and to serve the devotees. And this is actually very, very interesting, actually. Where in life does a God say, actually serve someone else? Because they're more important. And that's what the Lord says, serve the devotees. Serve the devotees. And that's where you get the mercy. And it's beautiful. And do you think the Lord wants anything from me in return? No, nothing at all. But when I do express some love and some service to the Lord, He takes me through this purification, this transformation, this decontamination. And that is beautiful. So, so beautiful. I keep on saying beautiful in this video quite a lot, I noticed. But this is how the Lord works. And because I've realized life isn't about me, I, mine, my desires, my needs, my wants. And instead, all I do is wake up at 2:45 every morning of the day. I jump out of bed, and all I do is look forward to serving the Lord. And that's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So, where are you? Are you stuck in a certain way? Are you making any progress, or do you feel it's so slow or it's not even happening at all? Are you tired of just doing something for an hour or two, or half an hour, or 20 minutes here and there, and then keep on going back to your normal life and going back to your normal life? Would you like to have something that has some continuum, some ability to actually feel that life is an evolution, that there is a continuum, and that you have the opportunity to explore more about who you are and how you connect with the Lord, your soul connection with the Lord? And actually, how nice it is for once in your life to be serving others rather than just ourselves. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama.